Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's cryptocurrencies update for Friday, March the 10th, 2023. Sorry that I was not able to provide it at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. I had to update a plethora of charts, and unfortunately, it went slower than I anticipated. There were so many annotations I needed to do, not only for the cryptos, but also for the regular stock market, that I simply ran out of time. But I am here right now, and the good thing is that cryptos trade 24/7, 365, so there's no harm done if we are a few hours later. Whereas for the stock market, it's closed, and people do want to get that information, for example, a little bit earlier. So the bottom line is I have still no confirmation of any bottoms in place just yet. It is starting to look pretty good, though, for many of these cryptos. For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum should, in my humble opinion, be wrapping up their last fourth and fifth waves. But please be aware of the bearish scenario, and I'll share with you that scenario. Stop losses, of course, we're going to browse through these slides. You can read them at your own leisure anytime. Remember, we should be in cycle 4 and still a cycle 5 to come. So let me start with Cardano. Cardano's preferred wave count is the ending diagonal wave 5 in red, to about 15 cents plus or minus 5 cents. That means we have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. It's all overlapping ABCs. We broke below 0.324, which strongly suggests we're on our way to this level. Don't know exactly how, but this has been a steady eddy decline. And I've continuously said that we need to break back above the February high to nail a larger degree rally. That would then look like this, that we have already completed wave 5 as somewhat more of a diagonal-ish instead of this channel type of diagonal. So we have our warning levels for the bears, 0.345, 0.386, and 0.425. We get above those, and then we know, especially the third warning for the bears, that we are in a much larger bounce. Preferred scenario is this. Why? Because of the Fibonacci relationship between the third wave and the first wave, the look of this, etc., target zone reached. But we have to be always cognizant of the fact that things can change quite dramatically. So the first warning for the bears is now, of course, at these levels. That is now the first warning for the bears. Okay. Why? Because then we start to break above the 200-day moving average, and of course, ultimately we go above there. So we have to be cognizant of that fact that we might have misinterpreted the price action, and then we have this alternative in our pocket. So right now, kind of no man's land. I don't really see much here to tell me that the low is in place. However, Binance Coin, for example, is doing much, much better. It looks like we are nicely are bottoming out for this wave C of 2, though I would like to see a little bit more of positive divergence. I don't see it yet. It looks like we need to wrap up a final third and fourth wave, but we are in the target zone of this green wave 2 and the gray wave C. So green wave 2 is, of course, the retrace of the rally that started in December. And gray wave C is the Fibonacci extension target zone from the ABC setup that we're seeing. So we have 5 down, 3 up, and now we should see another 5 down. And I think we have 1, 2 here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should be wrapping up a few more smaller third and fourth and fifth waves, potentially to as low as about 250. If we go below 240, then it really starts to increase the odds. This is not correct, but I like it. And back above 340, at the recent highs here in February, and wave 3 is fully on the way. I'd like to see some positive divergence, but please remember, when, of course, Binance Coin gets very oversold, as we saw here in these instances, we're getting very close to lows. So we're getting close. That's why I said on the summary slides, getting close, but no confirmation just yet. Here is Bitcoin. I have provided a lot more detail in the charts. I wanted to do it yesterday, but unfortunately, stock charts didn't allow me to save it. So again, very oversold on the daily RSI 5. which often suggests we're getting close to a important low, as you can see here, and as you can see here. But it also tells us that we're most likely going to wrap up some more third, fourth, and fifth waves. The ideal downside target for wave 5 of C of 2B is around 19,500 to 19,000. That would be picture perfect. And it's right here in the ideal wave 2B target zone at 62% and right at the upper end of support. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. Then we will have some nice positive divergence developing based on the wave 4, a multi-day bounce, and then one last step lower. And then we're going to look for wave 3C into the 30,000s. Alternatively, we're going to continue to subdivide lower per this wave count to about 15,000 or lower, depending on how much the waves extend. So I wrote initially, we have a perfect irregular flat in place where wave C tops at the same level as wave A, and wave B went below the start of wave A. The start of wave A is, in this case, the end of the third wave. So A, B, C, 3, 3, 5. It would require that we would see another black swan event. I thought it was highly unlikely. And then we got the SVB. SVB debacle, so to say. I think they were also into cryptos, that type of stuff, startup funding. Anyway, so we can continue to subdivide lower. This is still a high possibility. And of course, this subdivision is off the table if we go back above the late February lows. Of course, right? The 1-2 setup. But I want you to be aware of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. This is a potential. So then we are in the third wave. This is still very, very possible. It's not my preferred scenario, but I want to make sure that we understand that this is very possible. Similarly, for Ethereum, the preferred wave count is that we are in this green wave 2. And we're now wrapping up this orange 4 and 5, potentially one more 4 and 5 within it. The ideal wave 2 target zone is between 1250 and 1400. We narrow it down for wave C in gray. It is around 1350 plus or minus 25. And if we do the wave 5 here, we have, of course, 5 of C of 2. As you can see here, right here at 1325. So we have fantastic Fibonacci confluence at 3 different wave degrees. Again, I reminded you that below 1550 targets 1350. Et voila, here we are. So I'd like to see a 4 and a 5 over the next few days, and then off to the races with full confirmation, of course, above 1700. Alternative scenario, similar to Bitcoin, is we keep leaking lower, probably back to about 800. That's about as low as I think this can go. So this is still very possible. Then we had the A, B, C of a running flat, meaning wave C did not fulfill its full length and stalled below the top of wave A. Okay, so Bitcoin was done a irregular flat, and in this case, Ethereum was a running flat. Okay, the running refers to the wave C, the irregular refers to the wave B. How are we doing on Matic? Are we finally bottoming on this puppy? Sure, looks like it. Looks like wave A is complete, wave B and wave C. Alternatively, all of wave 2 is complete. Okay, so alternatively, all of this wave 2 is complete. That would be my preferred scenario. Please remember, though, the ABC, as I shared with you yesterday. Solana has now bottomed nicely in this wave 2 target zone as well. I like it. I would like to see positive divergence, but as you can see, if Solana gets this oversold, it's often very close to a very reasonable bottom, as you can see. Okay, it's extremely oversold. Some of these don't even apply because it's less oversold. Okay, so that suggests we might already have completed wave 2. So I like it. I absolutely like it. And now we have to wait and see. We're right here, almost at the 62%. Nothing out of the ordinary at all. Okay, nothing at all. This can still, of course, become more complex. But again, if we start, of course, breaking above here, that is our warning for the bears, then we know this wave 3 is underway. So it looks really good. So it's getting very close, in my humble opinion, to a completion of these corrections. and that we should set ourselves up for the next bull run. It would fit also with my preferred scenario for where I view the stock markets. They should be wrapping up some final fourth and fifth waves to the downside to complete a very nasty, complex B wave. And then we should still see a C wave into, I would say, July of this year. So time is on our side. It starts to look good. I don't have any confirmation just yet because we haven't broken above any price levels, but it starts to look good. So no confirmation upon it yet. Start to look pretty good. We've reached all the downside target zones. So remember, with Bitcoin and Ethereum should be wrapping up fourth and fifth waves. Most cryptocurrencies, I think, as well. But have to be aware of the bearish scenario. Also, for example, for Matic, that we could go to 20 cents. Cardano can go to 15 cents. But above the February highs for all these cryptos, and the bull run is full on back. So I think that's good news going into the weekend, that it is time to fire up our engines. But I don't think the green light is on just yet. Take care. Trade safe. See you all next week. Bye.